Welcome to a special edition of Experts at EWU, and we have a couple of remote guests. The first one is Stu Steiner, who is the Assistant Professor of Computer Sciences at Eastern Washington University. I got to get my dentures back up after saying all that, which means he knows a lot about cyber things that are going on right now. And so we'll talk about cybersecurity and web application and so forth. And Stu, you got your doctorate in computer science from the University of Idaho. Did you grow up in Washington or Idaho?
No, I'm originally from Montana. We moved here in '95,
Okay.
and then
So you've got all three states covered.
that is correct. That is correct.
And Vernice Keys, you are a senior in the computer sciences department. And are you a native here in Spokane, or did you come to EWU from somewhere else?
Yeah, so I come from the west side, from Linwood, Washington.
Ah, okay, okay. So what's it like being over here?
In experience, I really like the weather over here.
Good.
It's cool having all four seasons.
Yes, isn't it? It is. Yeah. Yeah. I come from Southern California 40 some years ago, so we had spring and summer, and that was about it. When it was 85 on Christmas Day, just things like that. Let's talk about the whole cybersecurity and the problems. We've all had to learn a lot. I heard about Zoom back in January. I learned about Zoom in March. And I think there are a lot of folks out there. As we start to do things on Zoom and Team and other platforms and so forth, and more of us are working from home and so forth, we probably are a little more subject to cybersecurity issues and web issues, aren't we, than we were before? Let me get your perspective, Stu, and then I'd like to have it from a younger person's point of view. Is that okay to say you're younger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So yes, the world is crazy these days, with many more cyber attacks than we're ever used to, long before COVID hit.
Okay.
Right? There were cyber attacks before COVID, but with the onset of COVID, the cyber attacks have ramped up increasingly, mainly for the vaccine.
Is that because of the working from home and so forth, less secure options and so forth?
Yes, because a lot of people are using their personal laptops, not company laptops or company computers, and they probably don't have the security software or the normal software that like a company computer would have. So
Right.
they're much more vulnerable.
From your point of view, Vernice, what are you seeing out there?
What I've been noticing is that we've been getting a lot of updates when it comes to our computers and stuff, and so that usually means that there's a lot more vulnerabilities that are popping up, and I feel like that could be because there's more people now on their own personal computers, and there needs to be more security happening.
So people aren't aware that they're maybe causing some problems, or their system is causing a problem, and they're doing their work, they're talking to their office or school or whatever it may be, and unknowingly are putting people at risk.
Yes, very much. Very
Yeah.
much.
Let's talk about what can people do right now to be secure. I'm thinking both on two levels. One, from work, because there are a lot of people still working from work, physically at work and so forth, but also from home. And is there the typical Wi-Fi system at home vulnerable?
Yes, it depends. If you bought a normal, just went to Costco or Best Buy or Walmart or whatever, and bought just a router, hooked it up, didn't change the standard username and password, then yes, it's absolutely vulnerable. If you didn't secure it in any fashion, you just literally plugged it in and went, then it's completely vulnerable.
Oh, okay.
Now, even if you did that, there are some routers that Walmart was selling, it just came out in the news last week, that had backdoors into North Korea and China and all these other places. So unbeknownst to Walmart, they're selling these routers, Wi-Fi networks that are already vulnerable because they have backdoors into them.
Yeah. How do we prevent when we go to buy one or upgrade? How do we know what to buy?
I would say you stick with the standard brands, Cisco, Netgear, that kind of thing, instead of buying the cheapest one with some name you've never heard of. That's really the best way. But it's the age-old question we face in security is privacy versus security. How much privacy do you want, and how much security do you want? I often talk in my class, and Vernice will confirm this, that, I can make you 100% secure. You're just not going to have any privacy. I'm going to know everything that's going on in your life. We're going to track everything you do, in your home, out of your home, wherever. Or we can go 100% privacy and have no security. So we're in that spectrum of privacy here and security here.
No kidding.
Do you fall in the middle of that? And to be honest with you, the American people come down about 55, 60% in security and 35, 40% in privacy.
Now, when you say privacy, what do you mean? I'm on the internet.
I can't, when you go into your house, I don't know what you're doing in your home because I have no way to look into your home. But when you're on the street in downtown Spokane, I can track your movement.
Okay.
Right? So that's what I mean about privacy is your personal actions. How much does the federal government know about that versus trying to keep you secure?
Yeah.
So it's an amazing debate that we all don't think about. I mean, honestly, do you really think the TSA is helping with security, or are they taking away your privacy, right? That's an age-old argument. You go to the TSA, they ask you a bunch of questions, they pat you down. Is that taking away your privacy, or is that really keeping you secure, or is it both? And the true answer is it's a little bit of both. They're taking away some of your privacy to pat you down, and they're trying to also keep you a little bit secure. But we all know that the statistics say that in all the tests they do, 98% of the mock weapons get through the TSA security points without being noticed. So,
okay. So much for that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. I'm never going to fly again. That takes care. What are you seeing out there, Vernice?
I noticed one thing is that I've been getting phishing emails lately. So I would say one thing is just to really be aware of what you're clicking on in your email and also who you're receiving things by, like verifying those things.
Right. I get a lot of offers that I've just won this and that. Most of that goes to my junk mail, which I go in and then get rid of. I'm so tempted at times to hit reply and tell them, you've reached the wrong person. I'm not in real estate. I shouldn't do that, should I?
You should not.
Okay.
No, you should not do that.
Whew, I did one thing right. But and I guess that's what I would call phishing out there. They're seeing if I'll respond to it, and yeah.
See if you'll click the link.
Yeah, okay, clicking the link does it.
Yes, and you never ever want to click a link in an email. I don't care if you're expecting the email from your bank. You never want to click a link in an email. Copy and paste the link, but never click a link in an email.
Okay. All right. But it's okay to look at the email?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Because most of our malware and everything else has pretty much detected things in that, right?
Right, right.
Okay. Wow, I'm learning something today. Let me ask, we're headed to the year 2021. We're going to have some new challenges. What are some of the things that we should be aware of as we start looking to, number one, getting out of 2020, right? And then getting into 2021. What should we be looking at?
Do you want to handle that first, Vernice?
Well, I guess one of the biggest things is that I know, like talking to people that have been moved to working from home, is that a lot of positions might be transitioned to teleworking. So another challenge would be, how are we going to transition those jobs so that they're secure from all these attacks while people are working from home permanently?
I've got to ask Vernice, why computer sciences and cybersecurity? What brought you to do this, to study this?
Well, yeah. So computer science in general, I got the opportunity to go to a camp when I was younger, and I really had a lot of fun there. And so I came to Eastern, and I learned that it was really something I loved. And then through just my general CS classes to meet students, and I've learned a ton about cybersecurity, and it's really made me aware of what I'm doing out there in my technological life.
Stuart, what's the future for people like Vernice in terms of, one, for her future in terms of employment and opportunities there, but maybe more important, are we getting enough Vernices in to the education system so that we have the talent out there when we need it?
Unfortunately, no, we are not.
Really?
And it's not just because Vernice is a woman and the number of women in computer science is on the decline instead of the increase, which is sad, but mainly because there are so many jobs out there in the world that the number of students graduating in the U.S. alone can't even come anywhere close to it. And that's just computer science alone, not cybersecurity. Wow. Right now in the state of Washington, there's almost 1 million open cybersecurity jobs in the state of Washington. So if you go to cyberseek.org, you can see state by state the number of open jobs. And so, not in the state of Washington, I'm sorry, there are 11,000 in the state of Washington. There are almost 1 million in the United States alone.
Wow.
Worldwide, it's something like 1.4 million open cybersecurity jobs.
What can we do to encourage more interest in this, number one, on a general level, but specifically I'm thinking of folks like Vernice, women, and even minorities, because I'm guessing there are going to be some good opportunities out there.
Right. A lot of it, and I'll let Vernice kind of answer this, but a lot of it comes down to money. The cost of higher education is on the increase, and we just cannot support all the students financially. And Eastern has a huge number of underrepresented students in it. And a lot of those students get some kind of Pell Grant that they don't have to pay back. But, that only goes so far. Yeah. And so really financial support just so they can go through school without having to work 40 hours a week. I mean, there's so many times that a student will have to work graveyard shift or 40 hours a week just to pay the bills, right, and try and go to school at the same time. Yeah. And that's just a killer on the student. I personally think it's just, this concept of we need to be able to support the students more financially and in other aspects. Especially in the world of female and underrepresented in computer science, we don't have enough mentors. There's enough statistics out there that says if you want to keep a woman in computer science, then you need a strong female mentor to help that woman in computer science. Mainly because every woman in computer science and everybody in general has what we call imposter syndrome. You believe you're not actually capable of doing it. Women by far, though, feel that and believe that much more than men do. And especially women of color or underrepresented populations. So I'm going to let Vernice kind of talk to that point.
Vernice, I want to take on that and then we can come back. But what will you do after you graduate to mentor others, especially women? Is that something that's on your agenda that's important to you?
Oh, yeah, completely. Because like Stu was saying with the imposter syndrome, it is nice just to have anyone that is older than you that knows what they're doing and that they can help you when you're confused or stuck on things. Right. And fortunately at Eastern, we have the Eagle Careers Network. And then we also have the 100 Women Strong program. And that's helped me a lot because I know that there's people out there that I can reach out to.
Tell me about the 100 Strong. What is that? I've never heard of it.
So it's a program that started out at Eastern. It's really starting to build up now. And it was created to introduce more diversity into the STEM fields, not just CS. And it's really great because it really does connect people, or whether you're a woman or a male, or whether you're a certain ethnicity or you're a minority. And that's a really great program, and it's really starting to take off.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm seeing an opportunity here for minorities and women and so forth to kind of come in and own it. Are you thinking the same thing, Vernice?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a really great opportunity to take advantage of because it really does show you that you're not really the only one out there. And there's others that are here to support you at Eastern.
I will tell you, in life, we have all had mentors in a variety of areas, whether it be back in our high school days in sports or whatever, or in college and universities and even in the work world. And I think it's really important that when we get to the point, and I think you're really getting close to it, if I'm not mistaken, that you can turn around and mentor some other folks, Vernice. And what a gift that is, because you can help others. And I just see that in your future. I hope that's really a part of what you want to do. I can tell by the smile it is. That's great. Yeah. What other things are you up to, Stu, in your department? What new things are happening? What new things? Why should people consider being in your department?
So for us in cybersecurity, we're becoming what's called a Center for Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense Education.
Okay.
Which is an NSA program. We started a year and a half ago, and what it does is it takes your degree, your anything with cyber in your degree, and says this is certified for this set of knowledge units and framework that the NSA has put out there that says these people are skilled enough to defend the country's infrastructure, be it whatever in cybersecurity.
Right.
So, and what that gives us then is it gives us a lot of funding opportunities that we haven't had before, through grants and through other programs. So the follow-on to the CAE is what's called a Cyber Corps Scholarship for Service. Scholarship for Service pays the students, junior seniors, books, tuition fees, and it gives them $25,000 to live off of for the academic year. And the whole idea there is you're working for the federal government as an SFS student, and then you have to work at an internship between your junior and senior year, which they help you get. It is paid. And then you go work for the federal government, for federal, state, local, or tribal government for the number of years that they paid for your school. And again, it is a paid position. So for the students, it's a win-win because their school's paid for everything. They get a stipend to live off of, so they don't have to worry about working.
Yes.
And then, and then the federal government has a pipeline of qualified people to come work for them. And you can work pretty much anywhere in the U.S. that you want to work, as long as you can get on with the government in that area. So
I think that's terrific. Everybody wins. Vernice, are you taking advantage of that?
I wish. No, unfortunately, we don't have that here yet, but I would 100% because I do come from a background where getting into college was a little tough. So being able to have that opportunity to where I don't have to stress about how I'm going to pay for college. And also you have pretty much a guaranteed job after college as well.
Yeah. How can you lose on that one, right?
Yeah. That's a win-win for me.
Well, Stu, we got to get people like Vernice into these kinds of programs because they're the future for our country.
Very much so. Very much so. They're I'm old in the world of cybersecurity, and the future really is going to rely on young minds like Vernice and many others to stay ahead of, or try and stay ahead of the cyber curve out there.
Or at least stay up with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
People ask me at my age, which is over 70, okay, how I do what we do here. And the joke around here is I have people under 30 that work for me or work with me.
Exactly.
Because I can go to them and they can figure it out. I also learned one day, and I'm going to tell on Vinny over here, that he said, well, I can get information for you and I can figure it out. And then one day he finally admitted, well, Kent, there's a YouTube video for everything out there.
Yes.
And there is. I agree. But the young people know it a lot earlier than a 74-year-old does, okay?
Right.
And so I think that's what's important is I love the fact, Vernice, that you're doing this. You're obviously young. You're enthusiastic. I look forward to hearing about your mentoring in a few years when you're out there, okay? I want to hear about it. Do you have any idea what you'd like to do? Where you'd like to do it?
I have no clue right now.
You just got to get through his classes, right?
I gotta graduate.
First things first, right? So are you a year away from graduating?
Yeah, I'm a year away from graduating now.
Good for you. Good for you. Wow. Well, Stuart, how can folks get more information about what you're doing out there and your department and so forth? What would be a way to track down?
The best way would be to go to our website, ewu.edu/CSEE, which is our department website. And then there's links to the program and to all the other stuff on that website.
Right. All right. Yeah. And do you miss, Stuart, teaching in person?
I do. I miss, seeing students like Vernice and that smile when they're getting the concept, or the frown that she gives me when she's not getting the concept. I miss the in-person. I miss the interaction. We're all creatures of, we need that human contact, so to speak.
We do. We really do,
touching.
Don't we? I've heard that from several folks the last week or two, that they really are at a point, almost a breaking point, that they need that interaction with people. And, that's just who we are. Stuart, thank you. Vernice,
yes,
thank you. It's good to hear. And let's keep track of Vernice and how she's doing, okay, Stuart? And maybe
absolutely.
Before she graduates, let's have her back on. Okay.
You should have her tell you some of the amazing things she's done and some of the amazing awards she's received.
Okay.
Grace Hopper. Come on, Vernice.
The next 60 seconds is yours. We want to hear about this.
Oh, well, I guess I'm captain of the EWU throws team here at Eastern. I got the opportunity to go to Grace Hopper, and there I was a scholarship winner. And then I also am a panelist for the 100 Women Strong when we have little get-togethers.
So that's it, huh?
And, and I'm secretary of the CyberSecurity Club. That's
And
You're
Vernice
going to
and
go
the,
places,
the,
young lady. You're going to go places, okay? And we'll all
Vernice
be very
and the
proud of you. I'm sorry.
Vernice
Stu?
and the vice president are putting on a cyber competition Thursday. They're running the whole thing, so I'm just standing
wow.
back and providing the gift cards that the winner gets. But
Oh,
the rest
fun.
of
Is
it's
that
all
something
on
people
Vernice.
can watch?
Not really. It's
Not really.
more of a competition for the students
Okay.
at school to just try and introduce them to the world of cybersecurity.
Fun. That's fun. You got to have some fun with all this too, because
Yes.
yeah, it can be tedious and it can be long hours trying to figure out where the problem is in life and in cybersecurity and so forth. Thank you to both of you. I learned so much, and I hope our audience learns so much about the great staff and professors and students out at EWU. I love having this segment on our program, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Experts at EWU. We'll see you here next time. Thank you.